All right, welcome everybody. We're excited to have Morgan Moses here, fresh off the practice field.
Yeah, yeah.
Morgan, a little bit of a long weekend there. How were things out there today? A little rusty, or you guys get back into it?
No, man. Like as professionals, man, we do whatever we can do to stay in the game and stay in the shape. But obviously, after a couple of days off, it's always good to get back on the field and just be with your brothers.
So I want to take you back. You were sitting here, I think it was February, March, whenever we
yeah.
brought the free agents in here. It was great. Vibes were high then. You've been around. You've been on teams where you get there in the spring, vibes are high. The vibes are still high right now.
Yeah.
How did it all come together for you guys with so many new coaches, new players, rookies? I mean, it's really come together. You guys are on a winning streak, and it's going great.
I think first of all, man, front office, hats off to them, man, on the decisions they made to get these rookies and free agencies in. A lot of details into the work of the guys that have come in, and then obviously, I speak for the offensive side, having those two rookies on the left side that's played amazing football, and I try not to tell them this all the time, but like I don't really consider them rookies, man, just because how they came in and then detailed the offense, and even Travion Henderson, man, like a lot of people have been talking about like it's taking them a while to get going, but it's hard in the NFL, so just kudos to those guys, just being patient and just going at it day after day, and when that opportunity presents itself, this is what happens, man. This is what happens.
It's pretty cool that it's you and Mike on the right side, two vets, and then two rookies on the left side. Just how have you been able to help Will and Jared and just kind of take them under your wing?
I don't think it's necessarily helping them, man. I think we all just collectively just just know each other. Obviously all we preach being able to know each other on and off the field. I think that's helped us tremendously. But I want to say, the unsung hero of it all is probably Garrett. Bradbury, man, he's done an amazing job just getting us all on the same page, detailing. He's played a long time in this league as a center, and when you got a guy that's a center that can speak for all five and help the quarterback get on the same page, I think that's the engine. That's the engine to the offense right there.
Those guys aren't the only rookies. And some of my favorite interactions when we're in the locker room is watching you and Marcus Bryant and Caden Wallace, and you're just holding court and, teasing guys. But I think you've been a huge part of the change this year. And we've been in the locker room the last few years. We know what it's like when things aren't going great. But you've been in the center of what feels like just bringing everybody together. And does that help you as an older player have these young guys who, have aspirations to get to a level where you've gotten?
I think the biggest thing is, it's not easy what we do every day. The sacrifices that you make as a father, as a friend, as a family member, whatever the case is, and to be able to come here and play this game that we love. I tell those guys all the time, man, we play a king games for a ransom, a child's game for a king ransom. And just being able to, take that little edge off, when we're not on the field, and just being able to laugh and just share jokes and stuff like that, that's very important. It goes into knowing your brothers off the field, because when it's 4th and 1 and you got to have it, and Coach Braves is out there beating his chest like, hey, let's go, guys. Like, when your guys inside and out, off the field and on the field, you're able to give that extra push, because you guys are brothers. You're fighting for the same thing. You want the same thing, and it's just the betterment of the team.
You mentioned Coach Vrabel, and I know he spends a lot of time with you guys in the offensive line room. How rare has that been, for you, just as a guy that's had a lot of coaches? Is it rare to have the head coach this hands-on with the offensive line?
I think it's rare, but I think just given the take of his career as a professional football player, and as a coach, he's done it on a high level. I mean, obviously, he's won Super Bowls in this same building that we work in every day. And I think when you have that type of example every day that goes out there, and you see your head coach taking hits on the chin and holding bags for players, man, that's the the details and the techniques and the fundamentals and everything that we preach, as in taking your the identity with you on the road and in the stadium at home games and things like that. I think when you got a guy that shows that every day, it makes it a lot easier to come to work and have those same sets set on mind.
We hear a lot that the season starts after Thanksgiving. You've been a veteran. I'm sure you've heard that too. But what does the team need to do now as we get into December and getting down to the final road down towards the playoffs?
A lot of people are talking about the record and everything that we've done so far, and just being an older guy in the locker room and telling guys like, hey, we haven't done anything yet, because none of this matters unless you play meaningful games in December. And I think that's where we're headed. And I think we're just trying to take one day at a time. And the next step is Cincinnati. Getting that going on the road again, taking our identity with us, packing it with us, and going out there and getting that dub out there, and then go from there. I think you can't look too far ahead. You got to be where your feet are, and I think when you're able to do that, the outcome is favorable for you.
So I want to take you back to March for a second too. Be honest. If I told you you're going to be 9-2 through 11 weeks when you signed here in March, would you believe me? Like how cool has it been to see that kind of growth?
Man, it's been fun, man. Just like going back to the signings, you know what I'm saying? Just like going back to the signings and seeing the guys that we've signed and just the identity of the guys. Like, I've known Milton for a while, being in that division and just seeing him from, his rookie year to now, what he's brought to the table. Spillane, obviously Diggs. I've known Diggs since high school. So, just seeing those guys come in and operate the way they do obviously, you want to preach, hey, everybody has the same goal in the beginning of the season is to get into the race, you know what I'm saying? But the details that we've carried every day from our coaching staffs to the players to the weight room, the equipment room, the training room, everybody's all hands on. And I think when you're able to have a head coach that's able to give that praise to everybody and not selfishly say, hey, like it's just us doing it, but we're bringing everybody along with us. A 5 is better than 1, right? So we'll take it.
I just got to follow up. What did you know with Diggs? Did you guys play against each other? Were you teammates? How did you?
I actually took Diggs on his official visit to UVA, so we've known each other for a while, just being in the DMV area and stuff like that. And I think for him, man, just the way he's came in here in this building, and all the outside noise that prima donna and all these things that's been said, he's probably been the guy in the middle of it all that's just sacrificed a lot and just bringing guys along, right? And I think when you have a guy like that shows that, hey, like that might have been me years ago. This is me now. Guys looked at that in the locker room as like, hey, like I can play a long time in this league as well at a high level. And what he brings to the table, man, that energy. You seen the camera, before we break in games and things like that. That energy, that energy is contagious, man. So like when you got guys running around like that, Mac Hollins too, bro. Like we got a great group of guys in the locker room, man, and hands down. And I think the details of work that we put in is really showing.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because we see it all the time with Diggs, but I don't think people realize. You're right. Like he had a reputation of being a little bit more of a diva, and I could not think that that's further from the truth based off of what we've seen.
No, 100%, 100%, man. And he's been that rock. He's been that rock for a lot of guys in that locker room. Obviously, Drake May, somebody he can count on and things like that. But he's that guy that he's that receiver that you often find in the offensive line. A circle of offensive linemen joking, thinking he's 6'7", 330 pounds himself. But like I said, man, that energy is contagious, and we just feed off of it, man. We feed off of it.
Awesome. Well, hey, Morgan, thank you so much for coming here, and good luck this week in Cincinnati.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks so much.
Morgan.
Yep.